Okay, so in an effort to evaluate my own ability to offer accessible material to all students, I chose to review one PowerPoint and one Word document that have been used in my classes for the last 5 years or so. So I'm going to start here with this PowerPoint. Now, this PowerPoint serves as an introduction to Of Mice and Men, and it's something that I use to introduce the Dust Bowl. So before I really get going with this, I just want to show you what this presentation looks like here. Because I think right off the bat, you're going to see kind of the same problems that I thought of when I was doing the readings for this week. So as you can see right away, most of these slides serve as pictures. And until this week, I was not aware that you could offer alternative text to these pictures. So even though there are some facts, there's some wording, there's no real context when the pictures are added if one has a visual disability. And as I keep flipping through this here, you'll kind of see again exactly what I'm talking about here. This is something that would not be accessible to everybody. Therefore, it's something that I would need to fix up. So I'll talk about some of the ways that based on what we read this week, I would be able to do that. So I started off by coming into the review section right here. And I started with clicking on check accessibility, and some things popped up right away. The main piece is kind of like what I already mentioned here, is that there's no alternative text available for any of these images really. And that's something that I would need to add in order to offer context to make sure that this is fully accessible. I also need to make sure that I'm adding full title slides, no matter the context. In my mind, this presentation was a nice tool to use to lead discussion, but especially in an online class setting, when that's not entirely feasible, especially in an asynchronous setting, I need to make sure that I'm offering title slides so that this is fully accessible for everybody. We can also here go to view, and we can go to outline view, which again shows me that as I come up here, I'm missing some pieces. I'm missing some information that would help clarify, especially right in the beginning here, really what these slides are about. It was kind of nice to be able to come to any picture here. If I right click, I'm able to edit the alternative text, and in here I can offer that alternative text that would make this more accessible and help complete the check accessibility option that we have there. So right now, something else that I noticed, especially early on in these slides, is that there's really not enough contrast between the text itself and the background. And it is different slides have different levels of this, but I certainly believe that I could come up with a better way of portraying, especially this slide that you see right here with the dust storm statistics. This is also something that was talked about in the Rice chapter as well, on top of the accessibility handbook that we read through. So even though these changes would certainly help, they will also help to improve Rice's UDL principle number 1, which is provide multiple means of representation. So these are just the pieces that jump out to me right away that we can work on to improve this one. Now, the next document that I want to show you here is actually the first worksheet that we complete in our History of American Literature course. And I'll take you through it real quick here, because this is something that jumped out to me right away when I was putting this together. This document uses a lot of bullet points like this, but it also has included this table here for a long time. And this, even before thinking about accessibility, this table always seemed kind of clunky to me. And then we have some more tables down here with vocab. So I'll take a look at all of this, but the main piece that I want to look at is this table right here. This is just an incredibly inaccessible way of processing the information that I'm trying to get students to learn here. And to show you what I'm talking about, I actually want to play what this table sounds like if one were to use the text reading here. So I'm going to start by going to review, and I'm going to click. I'll have the mouse right there. I'm going to click on read aloud here. Take a listen to what this sounds like.
Directions. Please complete the following chart as we read about early Spanish explorers, John Smith and William Bradford.
play it out
Spanish
loud right now,
Explorers,
but you can
PGS
kind of
12 to
see
14.
as it goes,
John Smith,
the
PGS
way that
16
it
to
reads the
21.
information out
William
loud
Bradford, PGS
is
24 to
a way
30.
that just comes
Motivation
very
for coming to
confusing.
America.
Besides the
PG
fact
12
that
introduction section at the
you
top.
need textbooks
PG 16,
to
top. Background notes. Religious
complete this
beliefs.
information,
PG 12
which
paragraph
again
1.
could lead to problems
PG
with
20.
those who have
Any page.
visual disabilities.
Interaction with natives. PG 12 paragraph 2.
It's just
PG 18.
it's
PG 30.
not a
Writing
table
style.
that
Is the writing
is
expository,
set up
descriptive, persuasive,
to
or narrative? Why? Who better
help
represents the values
make
of Puritanism?
this
John Smith or
make
William
this very
Bradford?
feasible here. So one thing that I feel like I could do is I could eliminate this table entirely and offer more bullet points, more direct questions, something that asks the same information, but in a more organized, a more disciplined approach to make this more accessible. When I come back to review and I click on check accessibility, the main thing that pops up is, again, I have 4 tables in here and I don't have a header for any of them. So that is something that I would need to fix. Even with the directions there, I need to be able to add in kind of a header to these tables so that everybody knows exactly what they're being asked to do in these spots. The vocab pieces are, I think, a little bit better when I listened to them a few seconds ago. And again, I wish it would play, but I guess since I'm screen sharing, it won't let me. These sounded a little bit better, but still, I can probably put these into tables or into bullet points, offer more clear directions, and make this an easier process and make this more accessible as well. So these are definitely tools that I was not aware of before this unit. I was not aware, again, of the check accessibility tool. I honestly had never even used the read aloud button before for any of these as well. So it's definitely something that I will need to take into account moving forward. And it's something that I'm going to have to spend a pretty significant amount of time working on to improve all of these worksheets and presentations that I have to make sure that I am offering fully accessible information.